what are you guys up to? It's been so long since I actually talked to either of you. Well, to be honest, we took like a month off of even texting each other. We're just like doing our own crap. So what are you guys up to?
Y'all's shop builds got in the way of everything, by the way. Also, I haven't seen you guys in so long. You've gotten so big, by the way.
Who?
I feel like y'all have gotten taller and you've grown so much.
You know what's gotten taller? JP's garage. So we used to be 14 feet. Now it's like
I knew it. We ended on that note. I was like, as soon as we come back, I don't care how long it's going to be. We're going to go straight into the garage talk.
One of the best moments. I wish we had everything recording still when you were FaceTiming us.
I wish we did too, because it was actually really funny. Even on my behalf, it was very funny. I'm pretty good at like distance. I am awful at like how high things are. Like I can never figure it out.
Just like when you walked out, like for people that don't understand what we're talking about, JP claimed that his ceilings in his garage were like 30 feet tall, which were not even close. Which we all were like, don't think so. And then he decreased it. So then he agreed. He's like, they're at least 20 feet tall. And we're like, I don't think that's true. Then as soon as he's like, I'm gonna FaceTime you. So as soon as we got the podcast, he went out into his garage. As soon as he walked into his garage, then he was like, watch, let me show you. He opened the door and it was dead silence. And he was just like, okay, so they're not that tall. And then he measured it and it was like 14 feet. So it wasn't tall, really.
It was 15. It was 15
feet.
Yeah.
That's what I guessed, too. I was like, they gotta be like 15.
Yeah.
In my mind, really especially sitting there telling y'all, I was like, they were so tall in my mind. As soon as I opened that door, I was like, oh, man.
Well, because we were like, wait, if it's like 20 feet tall, you can put a loft in your garage? And you're like, yeah, I could totally put a loft in my garage. And then you measure like 15 feet. They're like, dude, there's no way.
No.
For like small people, children, maybe.
Right.
Yeah,
me,
funny.
My family.
Yeah, you. That makes sense. Anyway. Well, yeah. This is what we've been up to. Is just building the office mostly.
It's a house.
It's fantastic. We, but then like as soon as we got it done, which we got most of it done within 2 weeks. Just the office part, which is I think it's 26 by 24. So it's I forget, 500 something square feet, 600 something square feet, whatever. And it's a good size. And as soon as most of it we got done in like a week. I mean, we bust our butt and we got the drywall up, the mudding, the texture, the painting, the trim, door installed, like all that within a week. And it was just, it was a lot of work. And then once we got that done, I was like behind on work. Like actual work. And so I had to, that's what we've been up to for the last, whatever. And, but it's good actually having a workspace. I mean, we went from a 12 by 12 to a 26 by 24. So, I mean, it's over 4 times.
I thought you were going to make the office bigger than that.
No, we wanted to still have enough space because we know the next project we're going to do besides finishing the shop up is going to be actually a van. Sam bought a like an off-roading van kind of thing. We're going to make it like a overlanding.
Is it an old one or a newer one?
No, it's newer, but it's a Econoline 2015, 13. And so that's going to be the next one. So we wanted to make sure the shop was big enough that we could pull it inside in the winter and be able to work on it still, but have room for the table saw and welding and stuff like that.
Is it a diesel or no?
No, it's not a diesel. But anyway,
my
that'll be a
friend
fun
has
project
a diesel
too.
one that's like lifted on 37s and it hauls ass. It's ridiculous. It's his work van too. He does flooring.
Nice.
Oh,
he's just
the most.
He's like,
the most
I need
redneck town in Cali, right there.
Dude, it's pretty. It's got a lot of money in it. It's fast.
That's awesome. But yeah, that's gonna be our next project. After the shop's done. So we wanted to make sure it was big enough. But I mean, this office is still huge compared to what
I know.
We were working
I was just I just remember you had said, I thought you had said you were going to make the office huge.
Well, I mean,
bigger than the shop area, I thought.
No, we were joking.
And I was like, why were you doing that?
No. We were joking at that. We were joking. But and this gives us a lot of room to still grow. Like there's a good third of it we haven't even, it's just random tables with stuff on it, but it's not really even being used yet. So
right.
it's kind of
the real question is how tall are your ceilings?
Oh, they're at least. I could probably put a loft in here for JP's family. Yeah,
tree house.
No, they're
so much room for activities.
They're like 10.5 feet.
You should build some bunk beds.
Right,
but the ceilings are 10.5 feet though, so they're still really tall, which is nice.
Yeah,
and
under 15,
we put in a
but
drop.
Look
at you. But the drop down ceilings it made things super easy.
Yeah,
like it looks really nice. It actually feels, getting the black makes it feel, I don't know, not office-y. Like, when you go into the regular office panels, and it just feels that like cubicle style, and the black doesn't make it feel like that at all. And so put in a ceiling fan to put in 6 lights up above. But it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I bought too many packs of the kits, so I have a ton of extra, but whatever. the squares I bought, correct, the actual other panels, I have a ton of extra, so I'm trying. I don't think anybody's gonna buy it though, so I'm just gonna keep it, I guess.
I still have my wire.
I had a good set of that like huge gauge wire, probably the same that are you talking about, like extra wire from the main in your I bought extra
twice.
You bought 2 of them?
Yeah, remember? Because I cut it to you, or I measured wrong. So I ended up with, you don't remember this conversation?
No.
Oh, yeah, like $2,000 worth of wire that's useless.
That's awesome.
Super cool. It's like the best thing that happened during the whole process.
So wait, so what, just nobody's buying it?
Nobody needs that. Who needs 150 foot of 1 gauge?
I don't know.
Yeah, as it. Actually, I needed 180, but who's counting? Whatever.
That sucks, dude. But I was like complaining about 25 extra feet that I had to get, and I just took it to the dump. I was like, I'm not.
Yeah, you could have recycled it.
Well, whatever. I just took it to the dump.
Almost people steal that stuff,
I'm not. We live in 2 very different places. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. Anyway. Well aware of that.
Brandon, are your shop pretty much done? Like it's all squared away?
I'm gonna actually film the shop tour tomorrow, I think.
Nice.
But like you, I went balls to the wall to try to get it done, and then once I got electric in there, I was like, all right, stop, go to work, and then haven't touched it since. I still have some stuff to do, like the wall that goes by the man door and where my electrical panel is still needs to be sheetrocked and painted and all that stuff, but it's just like two sheets worth, or 2 4-foot areas, so that needs to be done, but I keep putting it off because I'm real tired of doing that stuff. And then got the lean-to up, got some shelving built in there. I still need to build the other half of the shelving, but I also got those.
Are you gonna leave space in there to park a car and stuff, even with the shelving?
In the shop?
Or no, in the lean-to.
No, there's not enough room. It's only a 12-foot wide.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I built two storage. Like there's 3 8-foot bays basically of storage. So I just used 2x4s and then 8-foot span, and then cut 1/2-inch plywood and put in, so it's 3 tiers high. I think there's enough room to put 2 27-gallon totes on top of each other in each one, so I can fit. Nice. If I only put totes in all, it's this for my other business, obviously. But if I only put totes, I can get 80 totes in there, so should be enough room. We'll see. And I also want to put my air compressor out there and stuff, so.
I was watching your social media from your resale, the Walker's resale. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. Like in the last 90 days, it was like 18 grand or something like that. I was like, jeez. I was like, I'm in the wrong business.
That's like sales.
Yeah, right.
It's not profit. I get it. But
that's still awesome though. Like you started 6 months ago or some crap.
Yeah,
wasn't that? Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it went up to like almost 20 and then dropped back down. But the last few days since like Thursday have been really good, surprisingly. And I've been listing a lot more lately too. So we got about like 850 items listed right now. So.
Nice. I was just about to ask. I haven't been on any social media in several weeks, just being as busy as I am. So I have no idea what you guys are up to. I was going to ask you, Brandon, are you doing more woodworking or more selling stuff right now?
I haven't done any woodworking other than the CNC project, the video I put out. I just carved out my logo and that was about it. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I sat on the phone with Scott from Get Off the Couch Design, and he walked me through kind of how to use it because I'm so bad at like reading and trying to figure it out. Like
So,
I'm the
reading
worst.
in general.
Yeah, I suck at reading.
He's like, words are hard.
I can read and read out loud, but if I have to read something and then tell you what it said in 5 minutes, I have no idea. I have like ADD, I swear.
Yeah,
but
I
I mean, hands-on learning for sure. But once I get showed it, it's usually stuck in my brain unless I don't do it for a while. But
Gotcha.
It's a lot easier than it seems really intimidating, especially when you open the software to run the CNC and then you actually do what you don't need to use it all just like anything else, just like, Photoshop or Premiere, any of that stuff. You're like, okay, when you open it. Right. And then once you realize like what you actually need to run the basics, you're like, oh, this actually isn't that hard at all. So I'm excited to actually get you to using that more often. It'd be cool.
Are you going to put it as like, what are you going to do with it? You're just going to make signs? You're going to make it part of your like actual
part of the agreement with I2R was to try to incorporate it into my builds more with videos and stuff. So like I might try to make like a whole piece of furniture with it basically. Cool. So, I don't know exactly what yet. I haven't figured that part out, but maybe like a coffee table or something, but only use the CNC to cut things, except for rough cutting, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But
that's cool.
It should be cool, yeah. And then I've already got a job I need to do on it. My buddy got a new job. He's like a project manager or whatever. And so he's in his truck all the time, but he has his laptop in there. And so they have like his friend built one just out of a piece of plywood, and you like slide it over your steering wheel and it just sits there and kind of angles down, and you put your laptop on it so you can sit it in your driver's seat, and work on the laptop. And he brought that over, and I kind of took measurements. So I'm going to make him one of those on the CNC, and I'm going to carve his racing logo into it and probably fill it with epoxy. So that should be cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This day and age, that's actually a pretty handy thing to have, to be able to use your laptop in your truck.
Yeah. I was like, these might sell on Etsy or something.
Right?
Never know.
Well, and that's the thing about the CNC too. Once you have the file, you can just repeat it as many times as you want, right? As long as you got the wood and the bits, you're good to go. Yeah,
I definitely want to like do some Etsy stuff for sure, just to have like another source of income, trays and bowls and whatever.
Yeah. Just simple stuff you can bust out in like an afternoon and then sell. That's cool. Today's episode sponsor is Mirka. They're the pioneers of dust-free sanding.
I've been using my Mirka for over a year, and they just recently sent us all sanders and vacs, and the change for me was the HEPA vac. It is amazing. No dust, super quiet, and it's very healthy because it literally will take all the dust out of the air. Like, nothing escapes. It's pretty crazy, especially if you're using the Abernet paper. Highly recommend it.
So be sure to go follow them on Instagram. It's Mirka_USA. Also go follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and across the platforms. I know that they would truly appreciate it. And do us a favor, shoot them a message. Let them know that we sent you. It always helps us out when you let them know that. So what about you, Jesse? You doing any woodworking?
Zero. Yeah, no.
We're actually not a woodworking podcast at all.
No, I mean, the shop's just taking up everything, and then once we got this up, it was getting back to work and doing the marketing stuff and all that. So it's just been pretty busy, and it's been really good. I mean, we've been growing like crazy, so it's been fun. But when it comes to like the actual woodworking side, everything's been put on halt, and I can't wait to get the shop done so I can actually go out there and do stuff. But even after that, we won't really be doing woodworking necessarily. It'll be more like, I don't know, I'm getting to that phase where it's like right now I just really want to just build stuff that I can like use or enjoy or that kind of stuff. Like I've said this before, the more like favorite thing to do is do the trailer, because now I can take it out with my kids and my wife and have a good time. So it's doing stuff like that is what I'm like really interested in right now. So as soon as I'm done with the shop, actually building it out, getting the electrical in, all that jazz, I think I'm gonna focus more on that stuff, at least for the net foreseeable little future. My wife definitely wants me to do our bathroom downstairs because it's like the one room in our house that looks completely different than the rest of our house. It has like linoleum flooring, and nowhere else in our house has that.
Have a bathtub?
No, do you have a pink bathtub?
No.
Oh no.
But it's funny. My friend that's a contractor and builds new houses all the time, he has a pink bathtub because he didn't have time to do his own house.
Right. And it feels like, I feel like if you're a maker at all, it's like woodwork or whatever it is, if you start selling your stuff, it's like you start to lose time to do stuff for yourself. Like you start building stuff and you sell it to other people, then you don't have time to do your own stuff. Right, and that's one thing, like, I don't do client work is because I could never do stuff for myself where I could actually enjoy it. And so that's why I don't do that anymore. But so I'll be doing a little bit of house remodel stuff. Like, okay, so yesterday was Sunday and my wife and I told ourselves, let's just have a relaxing day off. Like, you know, we're just going to stay home with the kids and just relax. Well, that turned into painting all our cabinets. So we painted all of our cabinets yesterday, and that was our whole day off. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. So we didn't take the day
I was going to say, if you're anything like me, that did not work out.
No, and that's what we did.
Relax today for an hour, and then I can't handle it anymore.
Right. And we liked it. Like, I mean, we like doing this stuff. Every time we do something with our house, we're like, oh, this is cool. This turned out really good. Like, you know, type thing. And so it worked out. We did a couple projects yesterday, and we have a bunch of people coming over for Thanksgiving. So we're trying to kind of get our house prepared for that and whatnot. So, you know, I literally looked at my cabinets and I was like, dude, they're so scuffed up. We should repaint our cabinets. And I said that just like passing by in the morning. And Brooke's like, so we have the paint and I'm going to start painting it. Like, I was in the gym. We got a free elliptical. So I'm putting this elliptical together and stuff for our gym. And then she was like, don't come in. I'm not asking for help. I'm going to do it myself. And so, of course, like 2 hours later, when I'm done putting the elliptical together and whatnot and watching the game, I go inside and I help her paint the rest of it. So that's what we ended up doing. But yeah, that was our relaxing Sunday. But you know what I mean? That was like, that's the stuff I enjoy. I've gotten to the point where it's like woodworking, actually doing the projects, like where it's only like furniture. I don't know. I don't know. I still enjoy it, but not as much as I used to.
Don't feel bad.
I kind of feel a little bad. I don't know, man. Well, like I think that's one thing I kind of foresaw this, whatever. Like I saw this coming, right? Like that's why I also went from Mullen Woodworks to Mullen the Maker, because it was like it gets to the point. It's like, yeah, furniture's fun, like it is, and you do certain things and you like get into it. Totally get it, like it's fun. But then for me personally, it's like I think
it's for most people.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that we knew when we got on Instagram that are not even doing it at all anymore and sold all their stuff?
That's a good point.
A lot. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I think we just change on what we like to do over time.
Right.
Like, I think you're the same way. Like, you're not doing pallets anymore. Thank God. You know?
I don't want to build furniture anymore, really.
Something tells me he's got this secret place off camera that he still does crap with pallets with, you know? He just doesn't tell anybody.
He's just ashamed. He's like, the guys would make fun of me forever if I just
can't show anybody this.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, I do have a couple woodworking projects planned though, but mostly just shop stuff. Like I need to build a miter station of some sort. But I'm definitely not going to do like a whole, like, you know, J Bates style one. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's first of all a lot of work and money for the materials, and I just don't really need it because I have the lev rack system, which is plenty of storage, and then my assembly table has a ton of storage, and I want to do some more cabinet stuff. I'm going to put cabinets underneath. But I don't want to put. I want to be able to use the wall space behind it, so I don't want to do like cabinets up there. And I'm not going to do a fence either, like except for the fence that's on the saw, just on the base. Yeah.
Yeah, just the track.
Probably. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to do that.
Oh, really?
The amount of times I've used like a stop or a hold down is like minimal.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's like if I do, I'll just clamp something from the outside of the bench. You know. I think every time I make something like that, I always leave like a pretty big hangover. Is that what we call it? Whatever. Lip. I don't know. To put clamps on. Yeah. Like my assembly table has like a 4-inch overhang. That's what it's called. Like a 4-inch overhang, just so I have room to put clamps around the whole thing. And whenever people come over, they're like, "Oh, that's a good idea." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like not being able to clamp to the edges of the table."
Yeah, I get it too.
Yeah, I don't use the measuring part of my miter station at all, like ever. Right. But I do use it as a stop block, like when I'm doing repeated cuts on stuff.
Yeah, which I may put one of those in. I don't know yet.
Honestly, is few and far between that I'm making like that many repeatable cuts that it's worth putting a stop block down for. But it's still handy to have, at least something there.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that little thing that goes on your miter saw? I forget what it's called. I follow them. It's like 2 little rollers with a gauge, and you hook it onto your miter saw.
I did see that.
And as you roll it through, you just do one little cut. You take off, a blade length, and so then it marks it at 0.
Yeah.
And then as you roll it, it'll tell you how far you've gone. And so instead of doing like a measuring tape, you just have that. You just cut off one, zero it out, and whoop, 15 inches, cut it, and it's exactly at 15. It's awesome.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
how would we sit here and BS with each other for a year and a half? We haven't come up with anything like that.
I know. When I saw it, I was like, that is really smart. That's a cool design, man. There's just those things that pop up. Yeah, I mean, I do this. I had a kind of the same kind of system, and I never used it. Like I could have stop blocks, and I never once used it. I just used my measuring tape, mark it.
Like I put all that T-track in my assembly table.
Never
use it. Use that stuff. Ever.
I do use the armored tool bench to like clamp stuff if I'm assembling it and need it. I do use that. That's one thing I actually love. I love my 2 armored tool benches.
They're coming out with a welding table. It's gonna send me
that.
One,
I do
guess.
know. Yeah, I'm
whenever
on
it comes out
list for that or whatever.
Right.
The guy.
It's not out yet.
I actually have the frame. I have the frame already. I just am waiting for the top. That's all. So, but yeah, I can't wait for that.
Check on it. I haven't heard back yet though. So
yeah,
but I did get a welder.
Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations.
So stoked. Thanks.
That's cool.
That's a nice welder.
It's a Miller,
right?
Is.
Yeah, it's a Miller multimatic 215. So it does MIG, stick, and TIG. But it only does DC TIG, so you can't TIG like stainless or aluminum.
Gotcha.
Which I'll never do anyway. And if I do need to do that, I'll take it to my friend that knows how to do it, and he can do it. So I mostly just want it for the MIG, but if I want to learn how to do TIG, I want to have the it's right there. It was only like from just the MIG machine to the multi-process machine, it was like $300 more. Like, I'll just get the multi-process to expand in the future.
Yeah. Well, so I have a multi-process unit thing too. I don't see myself going past MIG for the most part, but
never know.
It's kind of cool to have. Like it's like at least I'm not limited. If I really want to get into it. And the one I had came with all this stuff, right? Like I'm sure yours did too. So it's like I'm already set up.
I didn't get the package with the torch and all that, so I'll have to buy that to add it. But it has the capability to do it. So
right.
It's
so
like
that's
$400 cool. More or something. Whenever I need to do it,
Because if you did get into the point where you're like, oh, I need to do TIG or whatever. And you didn't have
which
it,
I do want to eventually because it's a lot better to do on like body panels because I want to do a lot of work on my truck and my car and stuff in the future.
Which one?
So
you have a lot in your yard. I know you do. Your girlfriend's super stoked about it.
Yeah, I have a Mercedes CL5. I have a Mercedes, a BMW right now.
Ooh, you fancy boy! You got all these nice
European cars. It's fine.
Before you know it, he's going to be rebranded. It's going to be Walker's Junkyard.
Yep. The Mercedes is ready to go to the junkyard. The BMW's next.
You strip those cars down for all the parts that will sell, and then you just take like the frame basically.
Well, right now I still the problem is I have to get it on and off the trailer still, so it needs to roll, which sucks because there's a lot of suspension parts on some of that stuff that's worth money. But a lot of the cars I'm buying right now are cheap, so they're always high mileage. So like the Mercedes has like 240,000 miles on it, so you don't want to really sell the struts and stuff off of that. But if it was like a lower mileage one, the struts are hydraulic on those things, and they're worth like $200-300 a piece, even used. So
So what do you need to get? Like a tractor with some forks or a skid steer or something?
I need to get like an off-road forklift or a skid steer. But a skid steer would have to be a pretty big one because they're, 3,000-4,000 pound cars.
Right. Lifted forward. Yeah. Tractor would almost be better, right?
Right. Yeah. Or tractor. Well, even a lot of like front loading tractors won't lift that much.
Oh, really?
Big. Yeah. I mean, a forklift will. Like Charles has a big off-road forklift with like 4 tires in the front that he was going to sell me. But it's like, I'm at this point where I need to upgrade everything. So I need like a tractor or a bobcat. And then I also need a different trailer and a bigger truck. And like, it's like all this stuff at once. So I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to do first.
Yeah.
The forklift would be great for the cars, but I could get by with a skid steer and also use that on my property for other stuff instead of having to rent one. Right. I need it like at least a couple times a year,
Yeah.
So
I feel like you've had to rent them more than a few times a year here lately.
Yeah. I probably spent like $2,000 on rental crap. It's like, how long am I going to do this for?
Right.
Yeah.
Just buy one. But,
how is Polotes ice rink? How's that coming?
He hasn't done it yet.
No.
You still haven't done it? What? It's been like 2 months, man.
Well, I mean,
it's really hard to snap them together.
I say I haven't done it. I don't.
They're like those foam tiles, man. You just put them in.
Right.
Basically,
He's like,
yes.
It's completely portable, and I haven't done it.
Well, first I have to get everything out of the garage and like clean it, and then I have to fill up all the holes where he hit it with his puck, and I got to put in new lights in there. So it's not just throwing down the ice. I'm got
confused
all kinds
why you
of
need
stuff.
to fill the holes to put in a hockey rink where he's going to hit the puck again.
Well, because
Solid.
it's dasher boards. Because there's going to be dasher boards now that's going to set up off the wall, just like a hockey rink where it has
just
the
put them over the
boards.
holes.
So yeah, so they're gonna cover the holes, so you won't see the holes.
I'm sure they will, but I still want to get them done. Like I want to fix them.
Because you'll know.
Sounds like an
No one else
excuse
will
to
know,
me.
but you'll know. That's what
That's
you're
what he
saying.
tells his wife. I can't do it. I got to fix the holes first.
I'm
It's the whole
sorry. I'm taking the
process.
extra step to do it right, Brandon.
No one will ever see the holes. The only person that's
only
gonna know there's
half-ass
holes is
things here.
JP and his son who put the holes there. And he's like, no, we can't do the project yet.
But then I want to paint and some other stuff down there too before I put it all up. Yeah. But so it's a process, and I've temporarily threw him some boards down there, so he's down there been practicing and stuff. But that's coming next. I got the video out on my desktop that I made for my office. So
is that what you sent the other day? I was busy when you sent it. I just saw that it was performing well. I was like, oh, awesome. I'll look at it later, and then I forgot.
Yeah, it is performing well compared to. So my kids are home. They're running up the stairs. I'm trying to figure out what that was. But yeah, so that video's out. I was trying to get that done in conjunction with everything else that's been going on in life. Work's been crazy, but also it's a really kind of fun time of the year with my kids and the age that they're at. Carter, my son's playing hockey everywhere. We're out of town almost every weekend with him. Deer season right now, and he's old enough. So, me and him's going deer hunting and hanging out, and just there's a lot of really cool stuff going on now that while I miss woodworking and I haven't been in the shop in a little while, it's also been not because I'm just procrastinating. I'm doing other stuff that I think is important. So, and I'm trying to prioritize that a little bit instead of sitting in the shop until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and then not getting up and going working out and doing stuff that I need to do as well,
I like how your son's old enough to deer hunt and you still shot a deer for him.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, can I shoot it? No, son. I'll show you how it's done, and then you can do the next time.
I didn't tell him for like 3 days either. My wife's like, when are you going to tell him that you shot a deer? I was like, I don't know. I don't want to tell him. He's going to be so mad at me.
Was he upset?
Yeah, well, he wasn't upset. He was excited, but he was like, I wanted to be there. But he'll get him one this year. I'm pretty sure. It's been a really good year for it. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I've been up to. And, so the shop's just sitting there empty and hanging out, not empty, but just sitting around doing whatever. And I'm in and out of there from time to time, just doing little stuff at the house. I'm just not filming it and taking pictures and, stuff like that. So, but I got some big projects coming up. I definitely want to build an outdoor kitchen this winter going into the spring. So I want to have it ready, to go for the spring. In the new areas that I built last year under the pergolas and the new concrete and stuff. So That's going to be my big project going into the latter part of the winter, is getting a nice big outdoor kitchen out there that I'm going to do myself. But first, I got to get the ice rink done.
No, first you got to fill the holes.
Yeah, first, it's a process, Brandon. It's a process, okay?
Yeah.
Step by step.
This will be one of the first things that I've done, like filming wise, and that it's not like a building project. So I've had to like really think about it too, like how I'm going to film this to make it interesting and look good and everything else, because I'm just used to set it up on a miter saw, set it up on the table saw, set it up on this and that. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a little different
with the shop. And
with
those
the shop
videos did horrible, by the way.
I think those are going to be a slow burn. Like, I'm not expecting.
I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. I just took my GoPro out there and vlogged it, basically. So I wasn't really expecting a lot. I didn't have a SAM or anything, you know.
Outdoor filming for me, like outside of the shop itself, is difficult.
Dude,
and I say outdoor or anything outside of my shop.
Yeah.
Like I get out of my comfort zone in there and I can't film it. I don't know what to do.
Right. Yeah, it was really hard for me to do like the pergola video, like the Toya grid stuff. That was kind of hard.
And then you're like
you're
trying to film something up on a ladder 8 foot.
Right. And it's like, well, I don't want this in the background, you know, or like my dog pen in the background. You know, it's like, where can I put the camera to where it doesn't look like crap or whatever?
And then you're lifting heavy crap by yourself or whatever, and you're like,
right.
Or you make your mom do it if you're Brandon. And
she did help.
Every time I
thought about you guys yesterday because she bought
she was digging ditches in the background. Brandon's trying not to get her in film.
I thought about you guys yesterday.
He's like,
because I was mowing
be quiet, I'm filming.
I was mowing the lawn, and then she bought one of those Makita like battery powered weed eaters. She likes doing yard work.
Nice.
And I'm like, whatever. And so she hadn't weed eated in a while, and so it was like real tall, and she's like, well, if your mom would get out there and weed eat. And then so I went out and did it, and then the whole time I'm weed eating, I'm thinking like, these guys would be like, Brandon, get your ass out there and weed eat and quit making your mom do it.
Well, that's exactly what we'd say.
Yeah.
100%. That's funny.
Poor mom's over there trying to cut 4x4s with a handsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes to do it old school.
But it sounds like everybody's busy. We're just busy doing different things, and that's the way life goes.
My biggest problem is time management.
Whose house is about to get raided by the police? By the way,
it's ours. It's mine.
Oh, it's yours. I was like, he would be going crazy if he heard it.
I could, if I got on my roof, I could probably see the hospital. So I just hear sirens constantly. And I don't even hear them anymore. Like when my mom moved onto the property, she's like, "What do you think that?" I'm like, "I don't even know. I don't even listen. I don't hear them at all."
Right.
Like it just tunes it out. And I used to work directly across from the hospital, so it was literally every hour there was sirens. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't listen to it anymore.
Yeah, I hear my dogs before I hear the sirens. My dogs will start howling.
Oh, the neighborhood dogs do. Mine don't, luckily, but you'll hear them out there, and they're all howling like they're sirens too.
Yeah.
And then they set each other off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of busy, my time management is horrible. Working from home, like you were saying.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you,
like
super
you're like
hard.
You never feel like you get anything done.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
should be super hard not having a real job, guys. Whatever.
Yeah, right. I
it's
definitely
tough.
work more now.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, I don't know what days off are at all. I never really took days off because when I did have days off, I did woodworking stuff. So it's not a lot has changed in that aspect. But it's like, what do I dedicate to what? Like which one? Because before I had to go to work. I had to leave the house and go to work. But now everything is here. So I'm like, 5 days to this, 3 days to this, which one's more important right now? I mean, it's nice to be able to be flexible, but it's also a curse, I feel like.
Yeah. No, it's really hard. I've struggled with that for 2 years now. I think it's been 2 years, which is
good to know.
I don't know why I checked my watch. Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Look at the sundial.
Yeah, I'm like, it's been 2 years. But yeah, it you go through waves too, where it's like you feel like you can't you're not doing enough because you were doing everything you're doing now, but with a full-time job on top of it. And so now you're still working more than you were, at least on this thing. It's just like, you don't know. I don't know. It doesn't feel like you're doing as much as you should be, even though you're doing way more than you were before. And it's a weird feeling. Yeah. I still struggle with that. I've been a little bit better putting things in my calendar and trying to like be more structured. Like me and Sam, usually when Sam gets here, he usually gets here. I drop off the kids. Sam gets here, we work out, and after we work out, we come and get our work done. Like it's kind of so that way, really, it's like
structure,
right? And then it's like noon hits, and we usually either have lunch or we just don't eat or whatever it is, and like then we do content after lunch, and then like we kind of been a little bit more structured, and I think that's kind of more. It's going to definitely be a goal moving into 2022 is figure all that out and kind of have I don't want it to become a 9 to 5 either. Right. But I think a big thing to the 9 to 5 is like, when people say 9 to 5, they don't want to go to work from 9 to 5 because they don't like their work. For me, it's like I wake up. I've never had the time since doing this, what I do now. I don't have a time where it's like I'm not excited to like start the day. You know what I mean? Like before, it's like even though I loved my other job and it was fun in a lot of aspects, there was definitely times I was like, I don't want to go put on that uniform at all. Like, and so like, I don't have those days. So I guess but I need some sort of structure or I hate that feeling where it's like, I don't know about you. I get a pit in my stomach during that. So I'm like, God, dude. And it's like, I can't. And then I write down all the things. And you write down all the things you did in the day. And you're like, that's not bad, man. Like, maybe I should just give myself a break. Because I just, I did pretty good.
I think my worst, probably all of us, is we were raised on an hourly schedule. You know, you get paid by the hour. So you need to get this much work done in this many hours. Right. Well, it's not necessarily, doesn't have to be that way, Yep. And what eats at me is like, I've been doing stuff for 8 hours, but I feel like I've only done 4 or 5 hours worth of work. You know what I mean? Like, because I procrastinate just like everybody else, and like I get on my phone and do this and that, and stuff you do at a day job, and you're like, whatever, it's not my money.
You're trying to escape.
And but then when it is all on your shoulders, you're like, I should have done more. I need to do more in this time that I have, but. You also, then you're juggling that with like, don't get burnt out. So it's the one plus about having 2 different businesses. It's like, I don't want to do this, that, or you don't feel like doing something one day, you can go do the other business, and kind of juggle it. But there has to be a structure somewhere too. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure that out. Probably won't ever figure it out.
Well, Brandon, you really did not like the 9 to 5. I mean, I say you really didn't. When you and I first met, and you and I, Jesse, you really didn't like that job for sure.
Yeah.
I like you're doing the small engine repair stuff.
I'm just bad. I get bored too easy, which scares me about anything. It's like, okay, how long am I going to do the car parts before I get bored of that? You know what I mean? It's all exciting in the beginning.
Well, I mean, the nice thing is when you work for yourself like this, then you can just choose something else to do as long as you can make money at it, right? Exactly. So you're not stuck in just small engine repair. You're not stuck just in doing woodworking for, another person. You get tired of selling car parts, you can do something else. And as long as you're smart enough to figure out how to make money doing it, who cares, right?
Yep. Right. I probably will.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll pivot.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like
you've made some pretty good pivots so far. It seems like everything you've pivoted to has gotten just a little bit better for you. So.
Yeah. It's always a step up. It's always the goal anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're still enjoying it, I guess. You're still enjoying not working for somebody else.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll never do that again.
That's good.
I will do whatever it takes not to do that anymore. Not that I have had bad bosses. I just don't want to do that. I won't ever rent a house again either. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So my wife worked for herself for a long time, but then, after a couple of years of it, she was like, I just want to go work for somebody else. Like, she's like, I don't want to do this for myself anymore. She's like, I just want to go clock in somewhere.
Right.
And I can understand that too.
Yeah, if I owned like a business and had to manage other people and worry about all that stuff too, I might feel like that after a while. But since it's just me and I don't have a bunch of overhead and like I don't need like a ton of money to make it through the month or whatever, it's like it's not as stressful as it would be if I had to do like actual business. Although today I was thinking, and I talked to people that do this and they've expanded, and it's like it's inevitable if you want to grow your business, you're gonna have to, you know. You can't be a one-man show forever and keep stepping up your monetary intake. So we'll see what happens. Plus, it's like not technically legal to tear apart cars at your house.
So, especially in California, pretty much everything's illegal there.
Like you really should have a dismantler. I mean, I know a ton of people that do it, but you really should have like a dismantler's license. They're not going to bother you if you're doing a few cars. But if you start doing 20, 30, 40 cars, oh yeah.
I didn't know we had outlaw Jesse James on the podcast with us.
Well,
you dangerous, Brandon. Dangerous.
So pretty much everything is outlawed. There's that.
That's awesome.
So there's a such thing as a dismantler's license, is that what you said?
Yeah, just like a dealer's license. Like all the junkyards, they're all dismantlers. You have to have a license for that. That's in any state, as far as I know. Yeah. So if you buy and sell cars, more than a few cars a year, you have to have a dealer's license. So I'll probably end up getting that. There's like a couple different kinds, at least here.
I didn't know that.
There's some other states that have weirder laws than here, believe it or not, on that kind of stuff. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I just sold something.
Good for you. Look at you making money.
I know.
Are you not overwhelmed with the shipping though of all this stuff? Like I feel like you're shipping a crap ton of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I ship on. So I have structured that. So I ship on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I get up in the morning, and that's what I do for the first half of the day is pack and ship stuff. Today was kind of overwhelming because I had a really good weekend, luckily. So I sold I shipped out 17 items today, which was nice. A lot. But
it's a big bill.
Luckily, about half of it was small stuff, so it could just go in like a padded flat rate deal. And but there was a couple big things. But yeah, it does get overwhelming when it's big stuff. Like I had a couple days where there was like 5 or 6 big items that I had to like make boxes for and put pool noodles around them and like make sure they didn't break, and stuff. So those days I'm like, okay, it's getting a little much, but it's all right.
What is that stuff like? Headlights and stuff like that? That you might break?
No, like I shipped a front fender
through FedEx, like just UPS.
UPS, yeah.
That's a huge box.
Shipped a
Did
muffler.
You just wrap it?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a box.
You imagine the people. He lives in a small
town.
You imagine the people at FedEx every time he shows up.
Yeah, every time. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday, Friday. Fred from UPS is just like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually take him to a UPS drop-off. It's not even a UPS place. Yeah. I'm like, I'd bring one in. The girl's like, "Wow, you got creative on that one, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yep."
She's okay with it. She's like, "I don't have to really deal with it." It's
she like laughs.
Right.
She's like, "It's kind of interesting seeing how you package things sometimes." I'm like, yeah, whatever.
That's
whatever ships. If it fits, it ships. Okay. Now I got set up with a freight company too, so I'll be shipping motors and transmissions and everything. Yeah.
Moving
the
up.
whole doors and hoods. Well, I actually had sold a hood and then I checked like a regular person to go in shipping rate and it was like $950 to ship a hood to Louisiana. And I was like, never mind. I only sold it for $300.
Yeah, right.
So the discounts you get when you're a business is pretty dramatic.
Oh, wow.
Actually, the rep is going to come out to my house tomorrow, and he's going to go over the software with me and stuff to get good quotes and all that. So
that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff underlining to the things you guys do that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I don't even know it yet.
Yeah, it's like a self-learning thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trial and error.
You know what you need. Is you need a Sam.
I do.
You do. They're fantastic.
I know. Can't afford one.
He laughed.
Ask for one for Christmas.
Yeah, maybe Santa will bring you one. And guess what? Santa will look a lot like Sam, just so we're clear.
Anybody's curious, I wear a size Sam. Please ship that over.
I wear a size Sam. Please deliver promptly. If he has his own camera, it'd be preferable.
That would be upside, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only problem with Sam comes with when Santa delivers them, he comes with a list of things you have to buy.
Right.
It's going to cost you about $20,000.
Yeah, it's all expensive.
That's fair. Yeah. JP does not lie. That's
just not true. You're not allowed to question it. You just order it. You don't even know what you own at that point.
I was going to say 3/4 of it, Jesse. Don't even know what the hell it is.
No, I don't. That's what they're asking.
New computer. No clue what it is.
Yeah, the guys were asking me at the beginning of the podcast. They were like, "What computer did you buy? What monitor do you have?" I was like, "I don't know. Sam sent me a link. Okay, that's all I know." And we have it now. And guess what? It hasn't lagged this entire podcast. It's the first time ever.
What do you know?
Apparently, that computer back there from 2014 is a little slow. Okay, yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, man.
Anyway. We're at like 45 minutes. We'll wrap this up. We're gonna do an after hours too, so stay tuned for that.
Turkey talk.
Oh yeah, turkey talk. It's Thanksgiving, everybody, and I roasted turkey. I smoked a turkey. And so,
I see you guys all posting this turkey stuff.
Man.
I've seen people like posting it on Sunday. I'm like, you cooked your turkey on Sunday?
I did a test turkey. So stay tuned for the next episode.
You're not the only one, so that's why I was like confused.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure that you rate the podcast, follow along, follow Jesse P at Penalty Box Woodshop, Walker's Woodworks for Brandon, and Mullen the Maker for myself. Thanks for watching, guys. Go build something.
Something tells me he's got this secret place off camera that he still does crap with pallets with, you know? He just doesn't tell anybody.
He's just ashamed.